mean, we're all in on the same joke, right? My taillight is cracked and John is pulverized.
Innuendo is not evidence. False narratives are not evidence.
This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life.
Get ready, folks. It begins Monday. Closing arguments will be there live in Dedham, Massachusetts, where all this is taking place. Karen Read and John O'Keefe. They were boyfriend, girlfriend. John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, really an amazing guy. I haven't heard anything negative said about him. There was tragedy in his family. He ended up taking in his sister's children and were raising them. And then he died. She's accused of hitting him with her car, leaving him to die in the cold. She says she's being framed by police in this case. Karen Read was back in court today. It was another big day as they get ready for Monday. Some key rulings today. Number one, evidence of Karen Read's blood alcohol level is admissible, but the defense can voir dire the witness. Evidence of a failing relationship between Karen Read and John O'Keefe is admissible. All good for the prosecution. Evidence of Karen Read's out-of-court statements to police and paramedics and news media are admissible. Prosecutors believe that is good for them. Take a listen. Karen Read's father spoke today. Let's take a listen.
Absolutely confident. Truth will come out, right? The truth will prevail.
What has this process been like for your family?
It's been hell. It's been 26, 27 months of hell. Family supportive of my loving daughter. She's factually innocent. The breakdown in law enforcement, and I use that word breakdown very lightly. You can extend it from that if you like, but the truth is the truth. And you've heard glimpses of what we've learned in that courtroom, and you'll hear more as this trial gets underway. So,
you think your daughter will get a fair trial, Mr. Read?
I absolutely do. If you've been living on this planet for the last 27, 28 months, it's difficult to not be aware of what has happened here. My daughter is factually innocent. She's being framed. Have a good day, everybody.
Opening statements begin Monday. Let's take a listen. You saw Matt Johnson there doing that interview. Here he is breaking down some of the key evidence in the case.
Does this look like a road rash?
John O'Keefe's injuries will be a point of contention. Prosecutors argue they were caused in part when Karen Read allegedly mowed him down with her car in a fit of drunken rage. The defense contends the injuries are more consistent with a canine attack, possibly a German Shepherd owned by the Alberts. O'Keefe was invited to a party at their home on January 29, 2022. That's when the defense says O'Keefe was attacked and left for dead outside in the snow.
How could they reasonably ignore two black eyes? It looked like he had gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. Of course there were signs of a fight. Not just a fight, a brutal fight. What does a German Shepherd do when its owner is in a fight? Reaches out and attacks.
There was no fight. There was no dog attack. There was no eyewitness to the circumstances that led to Mr. O'Keefe's death.
To support its claim that O'Keefe was attacked and left to die in the lawn, a Google search by Jennifer McCabe will be a key piece of evidence, each side giving a different reason for that search. The defense claims that Jennifer McCabe, a relative of the Alberts who owned this home and was at the party that night, Googled a misspelled "how long to die in the cold" at around 2:27 in the morning. That's 3.5 hours before Karen Read dials 911, saying that John O'Keefe's body is found here in the front yard. According to prosecutors, McCabe Googled the question because Read asked her to, after O'Keefe's body was found around 6 a.m.
Mr. O'Keefe's DNA was on the taillight. The same taillight that was broken when the defendant struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Prosecutors contend Read broke the taillight of her car when she backed over him. They claim her broken taillight and microscopic pieces of plastic in O'Keefe's clothing is proof she hit him. But the defense points to this video to argue the taillight broke when she backed out of O'Keefe's driveway and into his car.
In other words, the car didn't hit him, and he wasn't hit by the car.
Reed's defense team raises the possibility that other suspects at the party killed O'Keefe, but prosecutors contend Karen Reed is the only one who had a motive.
You also have statements from the children which indicate that the victim had tried to break up with the defendant multiple times in front of them, asked her to leave the home, and she refused.
All right, opening statements. Monday, let's bring in our think tank, Eckler Mercy, Judge Gail Byers, Philip Dubé. Judge, I think both sides here have an uphill battle in proving what they believe happened here. I mean, murder. Let's start with murder. Like, you're going to commit a murder on the front lawn of a home that is filled with police officers, right? And then on the other hand, like, how in the world would the people in the house, if they're going to try to frame Karen Reed, how would they know that the next morning she's going to back into a car and break her tail light? These two things, I think both sides have some issues here.
I'll tell you, Vinny, I'm just surprised they were able to actually pick a jury, because you're absolutely right. There are so many competing facts or allegations on both sides that this is going to be a very spirited, as you can see from the pretrial motions, it's going to be a very spirited trial. What's more is Karen Reed has been, masterful in launching a independent PR campaign where her head PR guy is now facing criminal charges himself. So this is a small community. As you said, these facts are not boding well for either side. And quite frankly, that isn't good for the prosecution, because they have
the burden.
Obligation.
They've got the burden. Philip Dubé.
Out of 12, defense only needs one.
Philip?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I actually think they have a pretty strong case. I think
prosecutors or the defense?
The prosecution.
Okay.
I really do. I think what's going to sink her is her mouth. All the statements that she gave and the fact that she was drunk. The thing is, under Massachusetts law, they don't have to prove an actual intent to kill. All they have to prove is that she was under the influence, backed into him, and even if she didn't mean to, the fact that that he was around when he got out of the car suggests that she had a subjective awareness that great bodily injury or death could occur if you just back up suddenly while you're drunk. The law will imply that intent to kill. It's unfortunate, even though she didn't have the actual express malice aforethought. And I think the jury might have to just, throw in the towel and say, look, on these facts and on the law, she's guilty of murder. Now, on the other hand, if the defense can really prove
I gotta hold your other hand, because
culprit,
we're out of time.
Yeah.
I have to hold your other hand. Eklund, we're out of time.